Hello, friends. Welcome to the Juicebox Podcast. From my family to yours, I want to wish you a happy holiday.
My name is Erin. I am the mom to a 7-year-old daughter with type 1 diabetes and also have a husband that was diagnosed later in life with type 1 as well.
If you'd like to hear about diabetes management in easy-to-take-in bits, check out the Small Sips. That's the series on the Juicebox Podcast that listeners are talking about like it's a cheat code. These are perfect little bursts of clarity, one person said. I finally understood things I've heard 100 times. Short, simple, and somehow exactly what I needed. People say Small Sips feels like someone pulling up a chair, sliding a cup across the table, and giving you one clean idea at a time. Nothing overwhelming, no fire hose of information, just steady, helpful nudges that actually stick. People listen in their car, on walks, or while they're actually bolusing, anytime that they need a quick shot of perspective. And the reviews, they all say the same thing. Small Sips makes diabetes make sense. Search for the Juicebox Podcast, Small Sips, wherever you get audio. Please don't forget that nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. The episode you're about to listen to was sponsored by Touched by Type 1. Go check them out right now on Facebook, Instagram, and of course at touchedbytype1.org. Check out that programs tab when you get to the website to see all the great things that they're doing for people living with type 1 diabetes. Touchedbytype1.org. Today's episode is also sponsored by the Tandem Mobi system, which is powered by Tandem's newest algorithm, Control-IQ Plus technology. Tandem Mobi has a predictive algorithm that helps prevent highs and lows and is now available for ages 2 and up. Learn more and get started today at tandemdiabetes.com/juicebox. The podcast is also sponsored today by the Eversense 365, the 1-year wear CGM. That's one insertion a year. That's it. And here's a little bonus for you. How about there's no limit on how many friends and family you can share your data with the Eversense Now app. No limits. Eversense.
My name is Erin. I am the mom to a 7-year-old daughter with type 1 diabetes and also have a husband that was diagnosed later in life with type 1 as well.
Ooh, we're going to find out all about that. First, we're going to tell you that an hour ago, before this started, I got an alert on my phone. And because I had my headphones on, I was listening to something else. It pops up and talks. And it said that Aaron Rodgers recorded the Juicebox Podcast today at 12:30 p.m. And I was like, I got Aaron Rodgers on the podcast? I was like, finally, this thing's coming around. It was you. It just mispronounced Aaron.
Right.
Yeah.
In the middle of football season.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
for half a second, I was like, look at me going, But you'll be better than he will be. Unless,
I'm sure.
Yeah, unless he comes on and talks about like I don't know, sweat lodge retreats or whatever he ends up seeming to talk about when he gets on the podcast.
Yeah. I don't have that to talk about.
You don't
today.
have any of that? Okay.
No.
All right. Well, that's fine. No ayahuasca in your life?
Nope. Oh. Not familiar.
It's all right, Aaron. Let's see how I want to do this. How old are you now?
I am 44.
You got married when?
At 34.
Ooh.
Yeah, 34.
First marriage?
Yes, but each of us, it was his second marriage, and we each had a child before we got married.
Okay. So you were 34 when you got married, but you weren't married. So that was 10 years ago. Is that right? You got married?
Yeah, just about.
So your firstborn is, watch me guess. Let's see how I do on this. 25.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, she is.
God damn.
I can't believe you.
Aaron, take a second.
Because I was a very young mom, so that's not usually the guess.
Aaron, why are you talking over my dancing? I'm dancing. Hold on a second. I did it. That's for all of you that think generalizing isn't okay.
Right?
It works.
It's true.
It works. It doesn't work every time. And sure, once in a while you end up hurting somebody's feelings. But for the most part, there's a reason why things happen. Look at me figuring that out. Oh, I feel like a genius right now.
That's crazy.
Don't you think we should end the episode?
She is 25.
Oh, so you think we should just end it right here?
Done.
Rob should put in that ta-da music, ta-da, and then it should just end. Like a magic trick was performed. All right. So, oh God, I really do feel good about myself.
You're welcome.
And your husband, he was married before. He went a little more traditional, came in with a kid too. So you have a stepson, daughter, something like that?
Stepdaughter. Yeah, they're all girls.
Okay. Nice. And then y'all have a kid together how long ago?
We have two. So one is 11 and the other is 7.
11 and 7. I said y'all, which is weird because that's not a phrase I use, but nevertheless. Wait, and you have 4 girls?
4 girls. Yeah. 2 in the home and 2 older. But yeah, 4 girls.
Erin being clear that if all 5 of us lived together, I wouldn't be this calm, probably.
No. Yeah, it can be a lot. But
it can be a lot.
We're hanging in there.
All right. So the 11 and the 7-year-old, one of them gets type 1 diabetes. How long ago?
It's April of last year. So it's been about a year and a half.
And it was the younger one or the older one?
The younger one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So she's about 6 when it happened.
Yep. She was newly 6.
Okay. And her dad, who we could also call your husband.
Yes.
He was diagnosed when?
He was 29 or 30. So it was right about the time that we started dating, right before we started dating. But he had the typical kind of story where he was diagnosed as type 2. It kind of lingered for a while and finally was diagnosed with type 1.
Did that impede your courtship at all?
No, but he dealt with it a lot different than, at the beginning of his diagnosis than we are dealing with my daughters, because his was it wasn't clear what it was. I mean, I guess it could have been, but they treated it like type 2.
He got a misdiagnosis with type 2 for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was completely different, and it didn't hit him as hard and fast as, like my 7-year-olds.
Do you think he had LADA or a slow onset of some kind?
I think so. Yeah. They said type 1.5, which I guess is
LADA.
Kind of what they call that. Mm-hmm. So yes. Yeah.
Okay. How about,
and even his management now it's so much easier than my daughter's. It's like, I don't know. He manages it the same way. It's just a little bit easier.
Does he have outcomes that are similar to hers?
They're better with less effort, I feel like, unless he just got really good at it. But he's also on a GLP-1 medication that helps a lot.
That'll help.
Yeah, his management, it seems, I'm not the one managing him, so I can't speak for him, but it does seem like he has a better outcome with less effort.
Does this give you the horrible feeling that he's better at type 1 than you are?
No.
No, good, because it shouldn't. I was just wondering if you were walking around feeling that way.
No.
Okay, good.
It doesn't.
Have you ever tried letting him manage your daughter and you managing him to see what would happen?
No.
That'd be awesome.
There's been times, not very often, that I've been gone away from them, and he manages her, but I still have the follow-up, and kind of the same things are happening.
Same struggle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, in fairness, he doesn't have growth hormone going on. He's not, there's things happening for your daughter that aren't happening for him, I would imagine.
Right. So, yeah. I can understand why it happens, but yeah, but it gives me hope for her future that it's not always going to be, and it's not always hard, but
yeah,
it's not always going to be as time consuming almost, I guess.
I take your point. His side of the family, his children that aren't your children, his mom, like going back that way, other autoimmune stuff?
Yeah, his family's full of it. His dad's side of the family completely. His paternal grandmother was rheumatoid arthritis. Both his dad and sister, thyroid issues, and his niece on that side too has already been tested for Hashimoto's. So there's a lot of autoimmune going on that side of the family.
Do you ever wonder if a few generations ago, if all the old ladies who had stiff wrists just would have got a dog instead of got married, if there'd be as much type 1 diabetes today?
I haven't thought about that, but there probably would not be.
My wrist hurts. That means get a dog. Yeah. What if that was the case? So many of those, like, tell me about your family line stories somehow incorporate a grandmother with RA. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and I never thought about that when we started, having children. But yeah, it wasn't even something that crossed my mind. And I have a medical background, but still, I didn't even think about it.
You have a medical background? You work at the place that makes Band-Aids? What do you do?
I did. I was a licensed vocational nurse. So like actually my last job that I had before moving out of the country was I worked at the school district. So I help kids with diabetes every day.
Wow.
But
Wait, you got kicked out of the country or you left?
no,
What happened?
no, I didn't. I guess that's a real question right now, but no, I didn't. We moved to Mexico.
Oh, do you live there now?
We do. Yeah.
Oh, and now I'm going to have more questions. Oh, good. I'm having fun. I don't think we should let much more of the podcast go without pointing out just one last time that I picked your daughter's age completely out of just randomness.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to, we should call this episode The Great Kreskin, but find out what Kreskin means. Like how
I
would
don't know what that word is.
how would it be said? I know you're too young, but how would it be said in Mexico? And that'll be the title. I'll figure all that out later.
I don't know.
Aaron's like, listen, can we just get back to the diabetes thing? I got shit to say, okay?
No, you're fine. That was pretty incredible. I will admit.
Your pause, like I was like, either she's a sarcastic person and she's about to come back and zing me because I'm like her kid's 9 or something like that and I'm way off, or she's generally out of her mind right now, just going like, oh my God, like he got it exactly right. And then I was afraid it was going to be like, oh, she's 26, but you said 25, because it doesn't feel the same if I miss the number. Anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how I did it?
Yeah,
All right.
I would.
So I took your age. I took off 10. That gave me 34. Then
Okay.
sorry. And then I said, okay, you never got married, so you probably got pregnant younger.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, okay, let me just knock off another 10 years to make it like, like get me back down. Now I've got you at 24. That's not a get pregnant by mistake age.
Right.
Right. So then I just knocked off 5 more years and then I said 25.
You did that quickly.
Well, when you're willing to generalize about people, it really is easy to jump to conclusions. So, but dumb luck. Sorry. Okay, so there's a bunch of autoimmune on your husband's side of his family. Did it translate to his children who aren't also your children or no?
No, his daughter, as far as we know, no.
Okay.
No autoimmune.
And tough question.
Issues.
If you knew all this was going to happen, would you have just swiped again on your app and gone to a different guy? Or how do you feel about that in hindsight?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Interesting. I'm always interested. I don't think there's a wrong way to answer that question. I do think there's a more acceptable way to answer it.
Yeah.
But
I've thought about it.
Did you?
Yeah. In hindsight, I have thought about it a little bit, but
tell me what that means that you've thought about it.
Well, just knowing what I know now, like I said, I had the medical background and I knew like his grandma had RA, and I knew it was an autoimmune disease, but I never put the two together that if we ever had children, the possibility of having autoimmune issues or diabetes was higher. Like I just didn't think about that.
No, of course not.
I don't think my decision would have changed, but I would have thought about it more.
Yeah.
I think
a little like devil pops up on your shoulder and says, hey, I don't know if you realize this, but if you marry that guy, you have a whatever % chance more of one of your kids having an autoimmune issue. You would have been like, oh, that's not going to happen. I'll be okay. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by the Eversense 365. Get 365 days of comfortable wear without having to change a sensor. When you think of a continuous glucose monitor, you think of a CGM that lasts 10 or 14 days. But the Eversense 365, it lives up to its name, lasting 365 days. That's 1 year without having to change your CGM. With the Eversense 365, you can count on comfort and consistency 365 days a year, because the Eversense silicone-based adhesive is designed for your skin to be gentle and to allow you to take the transmitter on and off to enjoy your shower, a trip to the pool, or an activity where you don't want your CGM on your body. If you're looking for comfort, accuracy, and a 1 year wear, you are looking for Eversense 365. Go to eversensecgm.com/juicebox to learn more. Let's talk about the Tandem Mobi insulin pump from today's sponsor, Tandem Diabetes Care. Their newest algorithm, Control-IQ Plus technology, and the new Tandem Mobi pump offer you unique opportunities to have better control. It's the only system with autobolus that helps with missed meals and preventing hyperglycemia. The only system with a dedicated sleep setting, and the only system with off or on body wear options. Tandem Mobi gives you more discretion, freedom, and options for how to manage your diabetes. This is their best algorithm ever, and they'd like you to check it out at tandemdiabetes.com/juicebox. When you get to my link, you're going to see integrations with Dexcom sensors and a ton of other information that's going to help you learn about Tandem's tiny pump that's big on control. tandemdiabetes.com/juicebox. The Tandem Mobi system is available for people ages 2 and up who want an automated delivery system to help them sleep better, wake up in range, and address high blood sugars with autobolus.
Yeah, well, or we could have had the conversation. We each had a child already. Maybe we could have had a conversation. Do we want to bring more children into the world with that risk, knowing the risk?
What's the thing that happens there after people like build a little bit of a family, dovetail into a new family? Does it feel like your relationship's not as real if you don't have your own kids? Is there a pressure about that?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
No, I didn't feel that way, but I did want more children. I obviously had my other daughter so young that my parenting experience, especially at the beginning, was not the typical parenting experience. So I kind of wanted to experience that, but I don't think I felt like I needed to bring our own children into the world to make it a legit marriage.
Yeah. I don't know. I would just ask questions. I don't really have any thoughts about that.
Yeah.
How was your parenting experience different being a single younger mother versus now?
I was so young that I think it was almost easier because I was so naive that I didn't know all the bad things that could happen in the world almost. She was born with a medical condition. It was called gastroschisis. So her intestines and actually her actual stomach were formed outside of her body. And so she had surgery right when she was born. It's just something that happens. It's not genetic. It's not like passed down, but it often happens to younger mothers, which is odd. But I think if that would have happened with one of my children now, my younger children, I was older and knew real risks. When I was 19 years old, I almost was so naive that everything's going to be fine. The doctors know everything. Everything's going to be fine. But I think if it would have happened to one of my younger children, I think I would have been much more of a mess.
Seen the world a little differently. Back then, you're like, oh, they're going to stuff it all inside and it's going to be cool.
I mean, kind of. It wasn't, yeah.
I know somebody who was born with that, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crazily enough. Are there ongoing issues from that, or is that a thing that's taken care of and doesn't cause her any issues?
No, it's a thing, luckily, that was taken care of. They said, at some point she could develop some scar tissue from the surgery, but so far it hasn't caused any issues. It just required the one surgery and a hospital stay for a few weeks, it was hard, but like I said, I was so young. It wasn't as traumatic as I think it would have been now, which doesn't make it any more like serious. It was just, like I said, I was 19 and very naive. So I think I handled it better than I would have.
Because you're just like, oh, it's going to be fine. Yeah.
Kind of, and it was, but yeah.
Were you together making decisions with her father, or was it not even that close? At that time,
yeah, we were together for the first year of her life. So yeah, and he had a job where he would get off of work at like 2 a.m, and I would pick him up from work and we would go to the hospital and visit her. I mean, we were visiting her probably more than any other parents were because we could stay awake at night because we were so young. We were there all the time. But yeah, we did make decisions together at that time.
Very cool. Okay. It's like an after-school special at the beginning of your life.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I had a very typical childhood. And then I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to 8th grade, like a private Catholic school. And then I got sent to the big public school in high school and I didn't go crazy, but I got pregnant.
By the way, my generalizations are coming full circle today. Have you heard me talk about this in the podcast? Like every girl I know that went to Catholic school, like as soon as they graduated, they like either cut their hair or grew their hair. Like they did something to like change from the conformity that they were kind of stuck into. You apparently went out a lot. Is that what happened?
Well, I didn't get pregnant till after high school, graduated high school, but I did. Yeah, it opened up the world,
Yeah. Did you feel compressed? And then when it was shown to you, was it exciting or did it feel like, I can't believe I didn't know all this existed? Like what's the allure We're going to get to the diabetes next, but this is interesting.
Yeah. I didn't feel like sheltered or compressed when I was at the Catholic school. I really liked it. But when I went to the public school and there's just all kinds of different people, I met really fun people and I had fun.
Is this a story about weed or what are we saying exactly?
No. I mean, I did do that too a little bit, but I mean, everyone in my high school did for the most part, even like the good kids. But no, just meeting.
Different
I went
people.
to the school where I had the same 30 people in my class for years, and then going to a big school where I had 30 people in 6 different classes every day.
Yeah. I'm so lost in my own head right now, imagining people listening and seeing them in like 2 different camps. Like the camp that's like, see, if she would have just stayed in Catholic school, she would have been okay. And the people who are like, see, if you would have exposed her to the world sooner, she maybe wouldn't have been so like enamored with it or whatever. Like,
yeah, no, I don't think I was doing anything different than
anybody else
I would have done in Catholic school.
Yeah.
I wasn't being irresponsible. Like I was on birth control. I was being responsible. And even all my friends from Catholic school, they were doing the same exact thing.
This boy was able to get it through the birth control? Like a superhero. Look at that.
Oh my goodness. Well, looking back, I probably didn't take it as
every day.
I know I took it every day, but different times of the day. I was on antibiotics. At times, I had really bad urinary tract infections.
Well, it's from all the sex, Aaron.
No, that wasn't what it was from.
I'm just teasing. I'm sorry. Well, one way or the other, you got a nice kid. Oh my God, she is a nice kid, right? Like she's not a big disaster.
No,
okay,
no,
good.
She's great.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Okay.
Thankfully.
yeah. Right. Because you're trying to decide like what would have been worse if she ended up like me or like him or like what. Do you have contact with him still? So interested.
Not directly, but so it's going to get crazier, but my oldest daughter, the 25-year-old, she just had a baby. So I am now a grandma. And so I visited recently and he was there. So, I mean, we get along just fine, but I wouldn't like reach out to him just
no. I take your point. But is it a little weirder because you're not old? Like, you know what I mean?
I think he looks older than me.
Oh, he's not holding up. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's fine. I'm just joking.
Super happy you got away from him because he looks super old.
It is a little odd being a grandmother at this age and having a 7-year-old at the same time. And her baby, I mean, she had her when she was 24 and it was planned and, it's a completely different experience, but.
Yeah. Her issue get in the way of the baby at all? Anything with that cause her issue?
No.
Good for her.
No, she had a completely normal pregnancy and childbirth awesome. And everything. So
that's awesome.
It was good.
I didn't want to tell you that the person I know that had the same problem, probably happened 20 years before your daughter's. Obviously, they didn't do it as well back then. He had a lot of scar tissue from it, and it was problematic throughout his life. So, I'm happy for your daughter that didn't happen to her. Okay. All right. You've done enough. I appreciate what you've given to the podcast. We'll now move forward. Your daughter is showing signs. Does your husband see it first? Do you see it? Like, how does it kind of creep up on you?
It happened quick, and I saw it first. My husband was actually in Mexico. We live in the Cabo area. Mm-hmm. And he was, so the story or the schedule goes, we signed a lease for our house here in Mexico in April 1st of 24. She was diagnosed April 24th. So he was actually in Mexico kind of moving some stuff down to the house. He was here for about a week, and she always goes to bed with a water bottle, just by her bedside. She came down in the middle of the night one night and asked for a refill, and it's like a 30-ounce Yeti water bottle. And immediately I was like, oh no. But I filled up her water bottle and we kind of went on with our life. But over the next couple of days, she was showing that really extreme thirst. And then she had 2 bedwetting accidents. Like, oh no. But I, in my mind, was like, no, it's not it. I'm just really overthinking it because I know too much. And she had a normal physical scheduled a couple days after she wet the bed the first time. So I said, okay, I'll just bring it up at the appointment. And I'm so thankful that I had that appointment scheduled because I don't know that I would have taken myself seriously until it got bad.
Okay.
I really doubted myself and thought I was overthinking things. And the only glucometer that we had in the house, my husband had in Mexico. Like, we didn't have a ton of extras. He had one, and that was it.
Oh.
So I think I maybe would have pricked her finger, but she would have really freaked out if I told her I had to prick her finger with a needle at that time. So looking back, I don't even know that I would have made that decision.
Okay. Do you think you were having trouble talking yourself into believing she had type 1 or talking yourself into being brave enough to hear the answer?
I think probably both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it got to you at some point. How long until that appointment popped up?
I think it was 6 days from the day that she woke me up in the middle of the night for extra water until the appointment.
Did the doctor take you seriously when you said, hey, I think?
Yes. Yeah. Thank goodness. So she was going on about the normal questions and, if I had any concerns. And it was the first time I had seen this doctor. So we had no relationship with her at all. I told her my concerns. And I also said my husband also has type 1 diabetes. So she said, let's, prick her finger and we'll get a urine sample. They did that, and the rest of the appointment was done. They pricked her finger, and it was 3:04. I just remember looking at it, and I had to turn around and put my back towards my daughter so I could let a tear out real quick and then get it together, turn back around.
Like, where does the tear come from? Does it come from her life's not going to be as perfect as I hoped, or I have knowledge of what type 1 diabetes is, and here it comes? Like, is it somewhere in the middle? Do you remember what the overwhelming feeling was like at that moment?
I think it was just because I had that suspicion in the back of my mind anyway, maybe not even in the back, in the front of my mind. Yeah. And just seeing that number instantly, I knew that suspicion was true. So all the other things didn't really flood my mind, but I just...
Emotion.
Yeah, it was just... Oh.
When did the other things get to... When do you start thinking about the other parts?
On the drive to Children's Hospital, they sent us there. I think on the drive, I had to text my husband, and I just said, Dylan has type 1 diabetes. You probably need to come home. He was scheduled to come home the next day anyway, but I was just... I'm like, I can't do this by myself. I called my mom and asked her to go to the Children's Hospital with me because I knew it was going to be emotional, and I didn't know how I was going to handle it. I knew I needed to keep it together, and I did, but at that time I wanted my mom too.
Yeah, no kidding.
So she came with me, and luckily we went to Children's Hospital, Los Angeles, and we got there at, 1 p.m, and we were out of there by 6 p.m.
Really? Because she wasn't in DKA, obviously, but because...
She wasn't, no, and I was trying to push for the least traumatic experience for her.
Okay.
And I said, if we can do this, I said, I have the knowledge. I said, I don't know everything, but I know enough where I can do what I need to do to keep her alive until we get this situated. I said, but if we are admitted to the hospital and she gets an IV and, all these tubes and all these people, I said, she's going to freak out. I mean, any kid would, but this kid in particular would.
Do you think they were comfortable with that because your husband has type 1?
I think that, and then also my job at the time was at the school district dealing with kids with diabetes every day. You
had background.
So I told them that too, but I think probably my husband was more of a driving factor than my job.
He had a great sense of humor when you texted him and said, Dylan has type 1 diabetes. I need you to come home. He would have responded back in Spanish. And and it just would have said, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number.
Wrong number.
It would have been funny, like in retrospect, not right in the moment. But you'd have been like, oh, I knew this one was a problem. Okay. Did they give her a CGM leaving the hospital?
They did. Good. Yeah. So she came home with the Dexcom G7, and then she was MDI for a couple months. I had to really push for her to get a pump before we moved. So we moved officially July 1st of that same year. They don't have the same supplies available here. Of course, they have insulin, and they do have an insulin pump. I don't know which one it is, but we chose Omnipod 5 just because we knew she was going to be swimming and active here in a different way. But I really had to push for us to get the training scheduled and everything before we left so that we could get all the supplies we needed before we were here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you moved for business, for a job?
So our family is doing construction down here, and then fishing charters.
Okay. All right. But you are a U.S. citizen, so getting the Omnipod 5 is not a problem, but it was easier when you were at home.
Right.
Gotcha. Will you stay there forever, or are you going to stay there for the length of the construction job?
That's where we are here indefinitely.
Yeah. Do you speak Spanish?
Not fluently. I'm getting better.
Does it matter?
Where we are, no.
All right.
No, it's a very touristy place, so pretty much everyone speaks English. I wish it was a little more
Local?
Spanish, then I'd be forced to speak a little bit more, but I'm getting better.
How's the humidity?
Better now. During the summer months, like it's just getting better now, but like June to end of October, it's bad.
That sounds like 5 months.
Humid.
5 months. Yeah, I won't be coming. I was going to offer to come down, but now I won't that you told me there's humidity for 5 months.
October to March is fantastic.
Can I come October?
April.
Wait, hold on. October, November, December, January, February, March. 6 months I can make it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm on my way. Build me a house. Are you guys building houses right now? Is that what's going on?
They're not in construction yet, but
well, come on.
they will be.
I mean,
we'll have a condo for you.
I'm pretty old. Can you hustle a little?
They're coming right along.
I mean, Jesus. How long you been there? 6 months already? Chop, chop. Oh, I guess there's probably still public officials to bribe and stuff like that. You're probably just getting through that part right now.
I mean, things do. Yeah, things are a little different here and move a little bit slower sometimes. But my husband's family was in construction back in the States too, and it didn't move any faster.
No,
really.
I'm teasing. You comfortable there? You feel comfortable, safe, all that stuff?
I do. Yeah, there's a lot of families just like us. Yeah, that I've.
Where do the kids go to school now?
They're in a private school. It's a dual immersion school, so they have half their day in English and half in Spanish.
Nice. Is she picking it up quickly? Are the kids picking it up fast?
Yeah, so they went to a charter school. We were from California, back in California, that had the same kind of model. So my older daughter's pretty fluent already, even before we moved here. Mm-hmm. But my little one, Dylan, the one with diabetes, is picking it up now.
Good, nice. How is she dealing with the diagnosis, starting from the hospital? Like, was there any comfort? Like, Daddy has this. I'm sure you yanked that one out pretty quickly. Like, oh, just like Daddy. Did that help her feel any more comfortable, or not really?
Not really, because the way
kind of quiet.
Earlier, and he just kind of did it. She knew about it, but she didn't really know what it was. So it helped a little bit. He had a Dexcom at the time too, so she knew what it was. Mm-hmm. She was newly 6. She was pretty little, but not as young as some other ones. But she didn't know. She didn't know a whole lot. She was terrified of getting injections, like I'm sure a lot of kids are at first. That was one thing that we had to do before we left the hospital. They had to see that she would let me give her an insulin injection. He said, if she won't let you do this, we can't let you leave because she needs her insulin. So this kid was screaming and crying, ready to run out the exam room that we were in. So that was the hardest part.
How has it changed your relationship between you and her?
She was always very attached to me. For a while, it became worse. Almost, she was really, really attached to me. Mm-hmm. But I'd say in the last 6 months or so, she's become like a new kid.
Oh, how?
I think she became more comfortable here where we're living. She made some really good friends, and I think it really just boosted her, maybe her self-esteem or maybe her confidence in herself. And they really accepted her diagnosis. Not that she had kids that didn't before, but they understood it and would kind of watch out for her a little bit. Mm-hmm. We've made some really good friends, like with the kids' families. So I'm comfortable leaving her with, some of the parents. They kind of know what to do. Yeah. They don't know a lot about it, but they know enough to keep her safe while they're there. And I don't know, she's just really blossomed.
That's awesome.
I'd say it's about 6 months.
I didn't think you were going to say friends. That's great. I thought you were going to say she got a little more comfortable with the diabetes, but that's lovely.
Yeah, I think just becoming comfortable. She had a really hard time adjusting here at first. I mean, it was a lot of changes. She was diagnosed. We moved to Mexico. It was a lot going on.
No, really. You're like, hey, you have diabetes now. Also, we're leaving the country. So
yeah, and
have I told you about the humidity?
Yeah, we moved July 1st, which is kind of the hottest, most humid time that you can move. But the kids were starting school in August. It's just what we had to do. But yeah. That was one thing, too, that immediately crossed my mind. It's like, we can't move. As soon as she was diagnosed, I was like, oh, our plans need to change.
And your husband went, what's that now? Because I got, wait, what?
He said,
no, we're going.
He said, no, they don't. And I just didn't know how that was gonna work. But we've made it work. It's been challenging at times, but it's, like I said, we've managed.
Tell me more about that though. So, it's a big change. I'm not making fun of it. Like,
Yeah.
uprooting your family and moving out of the country is a big thing to do. And
Yeah.
your kid's diagnosed right before that. You have the feeling like, hey, we can't go, but there's obviously business reasons why you have to go.
Right.
Like, what got you through that, or what happened that you saw, or was it just necessity?
Well, at first it was just necessity, but I came to terms with it pretty quickly. I just kind of had to sit down and think of the logistics of it. So, like getting our supplies, they don't have Dexcom here and they don't have Omnipod 5 here. I was thinking, how are we going to get these supplies from the States here? I just really had to kind of put it on paper almost. I have to write things down. That's how my mind works. And I have to see what the plan is.
Okay.
And then I feel better about it. But I had to really think out all the logistics and see if it was something that we could do. And it is. We've figured it out. We have family that comes down here all the time, and people come to visit all the time because we live in a vacation destination. So we just have them be our diabetes supply mules, kind of,
I was going to say, you're the most popular people in the family now, right?
Right.
Yeah, they're like, hey, wait till the humidity lifts and we'll head down and sleep on their couch for a while. And then you use
we'll
them
give you a place to stay if you can bring some Dexcoms and Omnipods.
Then you reverse mule them and bring stuff into Mexico. It's nice.
Yeah, so it's worked out, and I've met some other families that kind of have done the same thing. There's a family that lives here that's from Sweden now, and they were on the same devices. I mean, there's other kids that have diabetes here. There's less than back home from what I've seen, but it's also a smaller area.
Okay. This seems like a good plan. It's working.
Yeah.
Are you working down there, or have you not worked since you left?
No.
Lovely.
I don't know that I could have. I'm ready now. But yeah, at first it would not have worked. So the girls started school August of last year. We meet with the nurse who only speaks Spanish. Her work phone cannot download the Dexcom Follow app because it's not available in Mexico, and she has a Mexican phone. So I had to provide her with an old iPad. And that was fine. That worked out fine. But this nurse was great, and she really took on a big responsibility for my daughter. Mm-hmm. But she would message me probably 25 times a day.
Oh, she's like real nervous.
It was, I think so. So that year was just, it was hard. And I appreciated that she really cared. And I think she was scared something was going to happen. I don't think she had clearly dealt with a diabetic child before. Right. So this year, my 7-year-old is kind of managing herself. The nurse is there for backup, but the Omnipod 5 has custom foods that you can add in the app. Mm-hmm. So I just change her carb count for her lunch every day in that app, and then her snack carb count. And there's certain snacks that she gets from the cafeteria. I have all that preloaded, and she's able to just dose herself.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have the cap, on her amount of insulin that she can get at one time per bolus, pretty low. So if she makes some kind of mistake, but right now she can really feel if she starts to go low too. So she's got some sugar in her little fanny pack, and she'll eat a couple Smarties or whatever she feels like she needs, and she's becoming really good at it.
Yeah.
I asked her a lot at the beginning of the school year, like, are you okay with this? Is it too much? She's like, Mom, it's fine. I don't have to go to the nurse anymore. It's great. Mm.
So she came pretty far from like dodging you coming at her with a needle in the hospital.
Oh my gosh. Like night and day.
And you think that the desire to be autonomous is what got her there? Or like, what do you think led her? Is it just her personality now when you stop and think about it?
Probably her personality. I don't think she had a known desire to become, more independent, but it got to the point. So this school year, there's a new principal at the school, and there's now 3 diabetics total at this school. Mm-hmm. And she's having all the diabetic kids pay for a one-on-one nurse to follow your kid around all day. And I'm like, that is just not, I didn't think that was reasonable. It's going to be a huge cost for one. I mean, and I don't think that's what she needs. She's going to become dependent on this person. She's finally like coming kind of out of her shell and is feeling really comfortable here. I don't want her to become dependent on this one person and kind of fall backwards. So we really pushed for her not to have that.
Did the others get pissed at you?
one is only 4 years old, so they were planning on hiring their own nurse anyway.
Okay.
And I have a relationship with that parent. The other parent I haven't met, and that was one of the concerns that the principal was having. She's like, we already told all these other parents they have to do this, but they also wouldn't let us share a nurse, which I don't know. I thought that would have been a good compromise. I haven't received any feedback, as negative feedback. So we've had a couple meetings where they're saying that our daughter's doing fine. So
cool.
We're going to keep going, going the way it is until I hear otherwise.
Now, let me talk to you more about the way you feel like your husband's thing is easier for him. And his A1C, comes back lower than hers does?
Much. Yeah. He's in like the 5.5, sometimes 6 range.
But
she's in the 7 to 7.3.
You're telling me that there's somewhere a 7-year-old that's managing their diabetes to a 7.3? That's pretty great. I mean, how is it different between what she does during the day kind of on her own and what happens when she's back home with you?
I don't think there's much difference. She might not give as long of a pre-bolus for like lunch.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't look at the clock and say, okay, 10:15, I have to bolus for lunch. It's kind of like they start packing up and getting ready to go outside. And I think that's when she does it. And then if she's getting a snack from the cafeteria, she just does it while she's in line. I don't see a huge negative effect from that at school. It's working okay. I try to do a longer pre-bolus at home, but other than that, it's pretty similar.
Does she eat differently than your husband?
Yeah. My husband, for a long time, up until my daughter was diagnosed, he really didn't eat carbs, sweets, anything, because he, at the beginning, was taught not to eat those things because they thought he was type 2, and he made these big dietary changes. And then once he saw that she could eat things, she just had to give herself insulin for it, or we had to give her insulin for it. He started eating fun things again, which I think is great. He's not going crazy, but he's able to enjoy things that he hadn't enjoyed for years. But he does eat pretty healthy in general.
So what do you think was going on there? He was managing through, I'm not saying restricting carbs, but by not eating a bunch of carbs, he was managing that way. He found a vibe that worked for him. Do you think that he had a desire to not have that happen to your daughter, so he kind of expanded on his own so that it would be the norm? What do you think happened there with the shift?
That might have happened. I don't think consciously.
Okay.
Because I think he would have expressed that to me, but I think he said it just opened his eyes. Oh, I can actually eat these things in moderation, and I give myself insulin.
He was released from a prison.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, so This is the only way he knew how to handle it.
Yeah, and it was the way he was taught to manage it.
Right.
And even after he was on insulin, he thought he still had to manage it the way he had been.
Okay, that makes sense. Huh. At what point during this process do you find the podcast?
It was pretty early on. I think probably the night that we came home, I started looking on Facebook for Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. And I just looked up moms of parents of type 1 diabetics. And then I think the next couple of days, your Facebook group kept popping up in people's comments. So I found the Facebook group first and then started listening to the podcast later.
And that has helped you where you're at now?
Yeah, a lot. It's helped a lot. Not only how to manage the diabetes, but also hearing people's stories and knowing kind of life goes on. I mean, we were already doing it, but hearing all kinds of people from all different walks of life, are managing.
Yeah. And that makes it feel possible or less stressful?
Yeah. And it kind of makes, I feel like when I brought up moving to Mexico, just to people in general, they would kind of think we were kind of crazy. And then add our child's diagnosis to it, people kind of really thought we were crazy. So it makes me feel like I'm not crazy. We're living our life like we want to. And I think it's obviously possible, but I feel like people thought we were kind of nuts.
Really?
And it makes me feel less nuts.
Do you think they still think that?
Probably, but...
Why? Because you just went against the norm?
Well, kind of, and people just have this bad connotation of Mexico in general. I think that... Oh gosh.
Oh, I thought you just meant about being abroad or something, but you think it's...
No, I think it's a lot of it's Mexico in general.
I see. Well, why didn't you feel that way?
Oh, I did at first.
Oh, okay.
Until we started coming here quite often. We've been coming here for years. I've been coming here with my husband since 2012, and I was scared to death the first time we came. I don't know why. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I wasn't very well traveled in general. So leaving kind of my comfort zone was hard. So yeah, being here and living in a whole nother country is
It's a big deal.
a big move on my part. I'm not very adventurous, but I'm getting there.
I mean, listen, I think maybe all evidence to the contrary, but did you sell your home in the US or no? You still have a place at home?
We have no ties to like our own home, anything, car, nothing. Yeah. So when we go back, we have to stay with family or, a hotel or something. But that helped me become more comfortable here almost because I knew I didn't have a place to go back there.
Yeah, no, there's no going back sort of feeling. How is the healthcare there? Like, how do you find the doctors are helping you with diabetes? I know they don't have all the same devices, but how about the care and the way people think about it?
Yeah, so we still see doctors back home a couple times a year. And then she has a pediatrician here that doesn't really manage her diabetes, but if there was an emergency situation, he'd be there to help. He's familiar enough with it and has actually diagnosed a couple kids with type 1 since we've been here and has told me about them, not giving me their names and all, this information, but he's kind of told me the stories. And then in June, the same daughter with type 1 had to have an emergency appendectomy here in Mexico. That went well. I mean, it went as well as could be expected. She had the surgery and went home the next day and healed just fine.
Wait, your daughter had her appendix out?
Yeah.
At what age?
Just in June of this year.
That's great. What did the doctor say about that? Is that common for kids that age or not really?
He didn't say one way or the other. I think it's something that it just happens.
Just
I've heard of it happening. Yeah, you can't really prevent it. It's not like a genetic thing, but
that's interesting. I don't have mine either. I'll tell you what, I'm better for it. I don't even know if it has any impact at all.
I don't think so.
All I know is they were like, this has to come out or you're going to die. And I was like, well, right on, then let's do that.
Please take it out. Yeah.
Have you noticed any other issues at all? Or is type 1 the only autoimmune now with her?
So far, it's the only one.
Nothing for,
hopefully.
And nothing for you? You don't have a thyroid thing or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Your mom didn't either?
No.
Okay.
She was type 2 diabetic. She's in the non-diabetic A1C range now, but that's a separate issue. But
how did your husband come upon a GLP medication? Was it for weight and then he noticed it helped him with his diabetes, or did he have a doctor who was thoughtful about it?
No, he had to convince a doctor to let him try it for type 1. He's very much into researching things and finding out answers and better ways to do things. Mm-hmm. So he did want to lose some weight, but then I think in that research he found, I don't know what research he found, but that it could be helpful in managing his type 1 as well.
How long has he been on it? How have you seen him change?
He's been on it for a few years now. He was on 1 years ago that I think he had to inject it every day. And now he's on tirzepatide, but he's a lot healthier. I mean, he wasn't heavy, but he had, some weight to lose. He's a big guy. He's 6'6".
Holy Christ.
I think he was 280 pounds when he started, and now he's 240, 235 maybe.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'3.5".
Oh, I guess he said we're going to Mexico. You were like, I guess I can't. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how to resist that exactly. 6'6". He could probably pick you up and carry you to Mexico, I would imagine.
I mean, I guess, but I'd go kicking and screaming if I didn't want to.
This giant man is stealing me. Are your kids tall?
They are.
Nice.
Yeah, so far.
Nice.
Yeah, my 11-year-old is 5'4". I mean, so she's not super tall yet, but she's only 11.
Well, to you, she's tall. Let's just say.
Yeah, she's a little taller than me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So he did that for his diabetes. It helped him with his weight, but you think when you say he's healthier, did you just mean weight or do you mean other ways?
Well, weight, he kind of, like, to me, he just looks healthier. I don't know how to really.
He's leaner?
He's leaner.
Okay.
He doesn't drink alcohol at all anymore. I think that's probably a good thing.
Wait, he did?
He used to drink, alcohol.
Do you think the GLP took his taste away for it, or what are you saying?
No, I don't think so. But when you asked how he was healthier, I think in that way. I don't know. He was on the GLP-1 for a while before he completely stopped drinking. So I don't know that stopped it. It was a conscious decision to to not drink anymore.
Did he ever mention that he couldn't, I'm sorry to use phrases where it sounds like I'm trying to be young, but I'm not. Did he ever talk about the GLP stopping him from feeling the buzz of alcohol?
No.
No, you never heard that one? Okay.
No.
I've heard that from a couple people. Like they feel like they metabolize it differently when their GLP is working.
Okay.
I don't have no idea if that's, by the way, let me just be clear. I have no idea if that's right, accurate, any based in reality. I've had two different people say it to me. So that's.
Yeah. Oh, could be. Maybe he didn't even realize it. Maybe it took the fun away and he said, I'm not going to drink anymore.
It's like, this shit ain't working anymore.
Well,
I mean, obviously he has a lot to get away from. He lives on a beach. So
I know.
His life's very difficult.
I know. I'm staring at the ocean as we speak.
I mean, I looked a little bit because I thought I knew where Cabo was, and it's down the peninsula, right?
Yeah. It's Baja California. We're at the very, very tip. We said don't be very specific. I'm not giving my address out, but we live in San Jose del Cabo, which is a little north of Cabo San Lucas. Okay. And it's just beautiful.
And that's where my very affordable condo will be available in a year. How long exactly?
Probably a couple years.
I didn't really save your kid's life though, so I don't think you're going to cut me a break on the price. I need one of those people who's like on and they're like, oh my God, you saved me. How come those people aren't building condos on the beach?
Right.
I'm waiting for this thing to pay back one way or another. It's not happening.
It will.
I just tried to get somebody to name a baby after me and it won't happen. I mean, it's very difficult to get people to really, they're very happy to tell you like how valuable it's been for them. But then you ask them to name a baby or give you a cheap condo and suddenly they don't know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You ask for some form of repayment. Yeah. And you get.
I'd like to see a little, what they call quid pro quo, right? Like,
right.
Your A1Cs and the 5s, my condo's cheaper. No, nothing. Okay. I think it's awesome that you guys did this. And I mean, I would see it as adventurous too.
Yeah, I think so now. It definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone and for the better, I think.
Yeah. Is it like lessened anxiety that you feel in other parts of your life?
Yes. Yeah. At one point in my life, I was like, had a diagnosed panic disorder and like agoraphobia where I was scared to drive by myself, like scared to go in a grocery store. It got really bad for a while there. This was a number of years ago. I've overcome that and living in a foreign country. So
that happened to anybody else in your family?
My dad, not as severe, I guess, but yeah, he had that as well.
Okay. Did yours pop up in and around COVID or something that you can point to?
Yeah, there was a traumatic kind of car accident that happened or car incident that happened. I won't get into all those details, but sure. Yeah, there was something that I could kind of pinpoint it to. And it just kind of, I think, triggered I was already really anxious about everything and kind of it's like a worry warp, but looking back, that it wasn't just normal worrying. It was very anxious worrying and overthinking things, but then it just got out of control. But with a lot of therapy and just kind of exposing myself to things, it kind of snapped me out of it. And
talk therapy?
Yeah. And then I don't know if that was really what helped, but I think just getting out and doing things helped more. And I think maybe the talk therapy supported me in getting out and doing things.
It's interesting because you've been through is the wrong, I didn't mean it that way, but like you've experienced a lot more than like, you know what I mean? Like you've almost lived two lives. It's interesting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really have.
Right. Yeah. Like, so I imagine like you're 19, you have a baby, guy's not around for that much longer. You're on your own a little bit. You know, there's some medical problems. It's probably a lot of head down, like just do the thing you're supposed to do. And then, what does it turn into like a little thing where like almost like you have a doll that talks and your friends, right? That happens for a while, right? And then you mature it while she's maturing. Is that how it went?
Yeah. If you ever watch like the Gilmore Girls, I feel like, and my older daughter is also named Rory from that. It wasn't from the show. She was born right before it came out, but it was kind of similar to that. We kind of grew up together.
Yeah. But then she's off on her own and then you have a young family again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been struck a number of times over the years making the podcast when you talk to much older people who have not had the benefit of a spouse living like a really long time. It's interesting. You can talk to people sometimes who have lived 3 separate lives inside of a lifetime.
Yeah.
It like had an experience like yours, like, a baby early, baby grows up, moves out of the house, they get married again. They're married for 15 years. They're really having like a nice life. Husband drops dead. They do it again. And then you start asking them questions about the first husband or the second. And it's super interesting. Like they remember them, but more like stories they've read.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting, actually. But not that I'm saying your daughter's a remembrance of yours, like it's, Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
No, but her childhood kind of is like, because our relationship now is an adult. She's my child, but it's like an adult, relationship now. So,
and you probably have friends that aren't much older than her.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son's 25, but I don't know any 25-year-old people I hang around with.
Right.
But I'm a decade older than you are.
Yeah. But also being an older parent now for like my 7-year-old. Yeah. Some of the parents are
they're younger.
They're younger. Yeah. And some are my age. I mean, and some are older, but yeah, it's a whole range.
Yeah. No, I find it incredibly interesting. What motivated you to be on the podcast?
I think just my fear of when we first got this diagnosis, and I was like, oh, our plans are going to have to halt and we're going to have to change everything. Stop our plans. Really freaked me out. And listening to people's stories kind of helped me. So hopefully this story can help someone or realize you can live the life that you had planned, even though you got this little bump in the road.
You're giving back. You want to add your story to it so somebody else might hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's lovely. Plus you have nothing but free time in that beautiful beach there. So like, why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
When those kids leave for school, you're like, see ya, suckers.
Yeah.
Mommy lives at the beach.
They leave early too. They start school at 7:30 in the morning. So.
Oh, the whole day is yours. Don't get a dog. Jesus.
Oh, we have one, but she's fine.
God.
She's fine.
Oh my God. You're young. They must leave and you must be like, oh, the whole day is mine.
Sometimes. But then
you get lonely?
I don't know. I don't quite enjoy being in charge of the house all day anymore.
Really?
It's getting a little bit boring. I'm ready to.
Does that Sasquatch you married, is he at home or does he go to an office?
He's
6'6", right? Like you must look up once in a while and think something escaped from the zoo when it's in your house now.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm so used to it. So when I see someone out in the wild and they are tall, they have to be very tall
to throw you off.
Yeah.
Clearly not apples to apples because you said your husband's 6'6". My wife's 5'9" and wears a lot of heels.
Yeah.
And because of that, like she stands like 6 feet tall sometimes when we're out places.
Yeah.
And everyone looks short to me now, but I also feel shorter than I am.
Huh.
Because of her.
Because you're right.
Yeah. And like every once in a while she won't be around and there's like a bunch of women around and I have like a conscious overwhelming feeling like, oh, if I would have married a shorter girl, I'd feel taller.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because you must feel like, I don't know, you must feel like a small child standing next to them. You must, because that's how I ended up feeling. Like, I just had it recently. I went to a speaking thing and there was a dinner and I was standing in a group with a bunch of people and I was the tallest person in the group. And I was like, this is what it would have felt like if I would have just not married Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never had that experience, I don't think, unless I'm with literal children.
Literally children. Well, 5'3". I mean, you're not
I'm not short, but I'm never the tallest person in a group.
Yeah, you're not going to overwhelm a group of people as far as height goes.
No, not with my height.
I want to be honest. I'm only 5'9", but I am frequently the tallest person in groups that I'm in. Now, when someone's taller than me, and I say this all the time, when someone's taller than me, I look like a child standing next to them.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who are shorter than me and around a lot.
Yeah.
So
my husband played football too. So all his college friends and adult friends are
monsters.
They're almost all his size. Yeah. So it's not unusual.
No, I mean, I'm looking at your description of him in my mind and I'm saying, well, he was a tight end, right? He played tight end.
He was offensive tackle.
A tackle. Oh, so he was thicker than.
He was, yeah.
Okay. Jeez, Look at him. Did it go anywhere? Did it look like it was going to turn into a thing or?
He played professionally for a little bit. It didn't, but then he got injured and that was it.
Oh, that's a shame. It's funny. We talked about it the other day because my son played baseball all the way through college. And, there's people say they're the pros. They're the best in the world. And we always say, well, they're the best in the world that didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a part of it you don't think about until you're involved in it. Like there are plenty of guys out there that can pitch, but their arms fell apart or, something happened and, they had the skill, but their body wouldn't keep up with it. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you met him later, though. You didn't know him in college.
No, so we actually went to the same high school and we're friends in high school, but then re-met as adults. So yeah,
Oh,
we didn't know each other then.
how about that? That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Can I ask you, when you think about your daughter's A1C, her outcomes, her highs and lows during the day, where her variability sits, what do you think the steps are to get her to, if you're interested in a lower number or less variability, like what do you think has to happen to get you there?
So her eating habits aren't the best. She's getting better as she gets older. When she was first diagnosed, her foods that she would eat, it wasn't limited. She just didn't like very healthy things. And that's completely different than my older daughter. We fed them the same when they were little and just have their preferences.
Yeah.
And so we're slowly kind of integrating healthier eating habits with her. And she's choosing kind of easier to dose for. I don't even want to say healthier, but they're healthier and easier to dose for. Some of these like processed foods and just things that she likes to eat
They're
are,
tough.
I've learned a lot on how to dose for them, but it's still not as easy. And then coming here to a new country where things aren't, like we'll go out to eat. There's not a lot of chain restaurants. We don't go out to eat a ton, but it's just kind of estimating or using AI to kind of guess how many carbs are in this meal and just kind of guesstimating and figuring that out. And we are, and I think she's doing okay for the time being. And I think it's just going to get better. I'm going to get better at dosing for these things, and her eating habits are going to get better. And I think those two things combined are going to help a lot.
Valuable for you. What's the thing you're most concerned about moving forward? Like, what's one of those like mom, like panic worries you have?
I just don't want her to have awful things happen to her medically as she gets older and have, bad effects from
Complications or what you're
complications.
worried
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But so sometimes I'll see a high blood sugar after breakfast when she's at school. And that's sometimes what comes to my mind is like, oh my gosh, like this is the third day in a row she's had this high blood sugar after breakfast, and she's at school, and this is going to lead to this. But in the long term, I don't think it will. She's still relatively new at it. I mean, it's been a year and a half, but in the whole grand scheme of things, she has her whole life. And I think we're doing okay.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have to manage her without the automation, or were you into it right away?
We were MDI for a few months first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she honeymooning during that time?
Looking back, possibly, but not significantly, if that's how I would describe it. No, it went into kind of full-blown insulin dependence, not a lot of
pretty quick
variables at first. So maybe a little bit, but not, no, there wasn't like this drastic shift that I ever saw from coming out of it.
Okay. Do you think you could go back to managing that way? Or do you think that a lot of your success is hinged on the devices you're using?
No, I think I could go back to that. I think I definitely could. She probably wouldn't love it, but I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We wouldn't be able to manage in school though. The devices really make school time a lot more manageable because she wouldn't be able to be giving herself injections on her own at school. That's not really something she could be doing at this point. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. Are you able to text her during the day? And is that something you actually do as part of your management plan?
I tried at first and she wouldn't see it, or I would call her and she'd be in the middle of the class. She wouldn't go excuse herself. She'd just be in the middle, hey, mom, we're not doing that right now. If I ever need something, there was a day kind of recently, maybe last week or the week before, where she just had a really high blood sugar. It didn't make sense why. And I thought the Dexcom was off. So I just messaged the nurse that's there. I said, hey, can you go down and have her finger stick? And if it's right, can you have her do a correction dose? So I'm able to message the nurse when needed. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I've been able to not text her. Eventually, I think when she gets a little bit older and a little more responsible with the phone, because right now she doesn't even really think of it as a phone. It's just her dosing device. Yeah. She knows it's a phone.
But I love the idea of her in the middle of a lesson and she just picks that phone up and she's like, go for Dylan. And
yeah, I'm just, so this isn't going to work. So eventually it will. But like I said, I have the nurse's backup right now. If I ever really needed to get a hold of her,
you can do it.
Yeah. I can message the nurse. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Is there anything that I have not asked you about that I should have, or anything I missed or glanced over or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think we went through all my lives and
my lives.
And our experience here, yeah, I think I got everything out that I wanted to. And just most importantly, just don't let diabetes or any other diagnosis really. I mean, some have more restrictions than others, but especially this diagnosis, it's really manageable no matter where you go.
And all the concerns that you had in the beginning ended up not being things that actually held you back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So not to be too philosophical, but if they would have held you back, then it would have turned out that you were holding yourself back, not them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I think that's your takeaway. Besides marry a tall guy, that's also important.
But one without diabetes.
But that won't, if you can find a tall guy without, by the way, now you're going to get hate from people with diabetes. They're going to be like, whoa, there's nothing wrong with me. You know what she's saying. It would have been easier.
Yes.
And you all know it would have been easier, by the way. Marry a nice tall boy who likes the beach, obviously, and is a hard worker because he's making stuff happen.
Yeah, we're doing stuff out here.
Pretty awesome. I'm going to look into you. I feel like I heard you say things. I feel like I could go down there, maybe rent a boat from you or something like that. I think you got a whole thing going on down there.
Yeah.
You do, don't you?
We do. Yeah, you can send me a message. I'll give you the info.
Hey, and for anybody else listening, if you're building condos or houses on the beach, and I've helped you, I mean, now's the time, right? It's getting to the end now. I've been doing this 11 years. Scotty needs you know what I mean? I need to quit on the Proco at this point.
Right.
I'd like to get something out of this before it's over. And I would like it to be that involved the beach, if somebody could help me. My wife would be thrilled, by the way, to do what you did.
Really?
Yeah, the move. So let me be clear. There's no way she's moving away from these children. So in the end, she's not doing this. But if you could magically put her on a beach somewhere, I think the happiness quotient for Kelly would go up 150%. I think that girl would thrive in the sun. So
yeah, it's made my life better. And we came from Southern California, so I wasn't really roughing it there. But the water was cold. It was gloomy at the beach all the time. So you can enjoy it more, and it's made me happier. Yeah.
I visited San Diego for the first time in my life as an adult, as anything, past year, towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Beach was nice, but water was cold. It wasn't that doable. The weather was insane. Like, I see why y'all are like trying to keep that to yourselves because, man, is the weather nice there. Just lovely.
San Diego in particular. Yeah. We were a little bit north and experiencing like wildfires and
I don't want that.
All that stuff. So yeah, it has its good and bad.
If somebody, Erin, could just make a perfect place for me to live, I would appreciate it. And then, of course, if you could make it affordable so I could actually live there, that would be nice too. I guess, the problem is that anywhere that's perfect you're going to get overrun with people who have more money than me. That's for sure. So
yeah, there's a lot of people with a lot of money here. I had no idea.
Oh, do you feel poor in Cabo?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the people that have moved here. Yeah, there's some really, really nice places here.
My son came home from college and said, I feel poor at college. I was like, awesome. Well, I said, try making friends with those kids because maybe they can get you a job one day.
Right.
All right. Well, hold on for a second. That is really nice of you to come on and do this. I really do appreciate it.
Okay, of course.
Yep. Hold on a second. Today's episode of the Juicebox Podcast was sponsored by the new Tandem Mobi system and Control-IQ Plus technology. Learn more and get started today at tandemdiabetes.com/juicebox. Check it out. Are you tired of getting a rash from your CGM adhesive? Give the Eversense 365 a try. Eversense CGM.com/juicebox. Beautiful silicone that they use. It changes every day, keeps it fresh. Not only that, you only have to change the sensor once a year. So, that's better. This episode was sponsored by Touched by Type 1. I want you to go find them on Facebook, Instagram, and give them a follow. And then head to touchedbytype1.org where you're going to learn all about their programs and resources for people with type 1 diabetes. As the holidays approach, I want to thank all of my good friends for coming back to the Juicebox Podcast over and over again. It means the world to me. It's the greatest gift you could give me. Thank you so very much. Unless, of course, you want to share the show with someone else, then that would be an awesome gift too, or a 5-star review. I don't know. You don't really owe me a gift, but if you're looking for something to do, subscribe and follow, tell a friend, etc. Thank you. Merry Christmas. If you're looking for community around type 1 diabetes, check out the Juicebox Podcast private Facebook group. Juicebox Podcast, type 1 diabetes. But everybody is welcome. Type 1, type 2, gestational, loved ones, it doesn't matter to me. If you're impacted by diabetes and you're looking for support, comfort, or community, check out Juicebox Podcast, type 1 diabetes on Facebook. If you have a podcast and you need a fantastic editor, you want Rob from Wrong Way Recording. Listen, truth be told, I'm like 20% smarter when Rob edits me. He takes out all the gaps of time and when I go, and stuff like that. And it just, I don't know, man. I listen back and I'm like, why do I sound smarter? And then I remember because I did one smart thing. I hired Rob at wrongwayrecording.com.